Hey Mark, you ready for this game tonight?
Yeah, I'm excited, man. Cupsy, what are you doing over there?
Don't worry, boys. Was just on AztecSafety.com, took a fire extinguisher safety course. Paul, I'm putting out the fires from now on. Woo!
All right, real talk for a second. If your snack situation hasn't changed in years, maybe it's time for an upgrade. The Chocolate Lab makes legit chocolate that's worth paying attention to. That's it. Back to whatever you were doing.
Good day, curling fans, and welcome to the Martensville Curling Club. It's the Curling Stadium, Martensville International, here on SSN. We have this matchup today between Brad Gushue and Bradley Moser. Gushue obviously needs no introduction. Bradley Moser, we'll learn more about him as the day goes on. Thank you so much for joining us. Dave Schmel, along with Sean Joyce. Connor Sims is on the ones and twos, and we're happy to have you here with us. It is Brad Gushue with Hammer here, throwing the yellow rocks in the first end.
And wearing the white jackets as opposed to Brad Moser's black jackets, making it much easier for us to tell them apart.
For those of you who may not have joined us this morning, we had two teams with black jackets with red trim, and my goodness, that can get difficult. And this is definitely your weekend for curling, Sean. I mean, we got the Olympic Games going on in Cortina d'Ampezzo right now. Our colleague Hans Frohnlob is working the world feed, which is, very excited for Hans having that opportunity. And we got great curling right here in Martensville.
Little tap there freed up a path to get the red out, but it also poked the yellow out into the open.
So Team Moser, the skip is Bradley Moser. The third is Bryden Tessler.
It's Tessier, but I don't think it is.
Tessier?
He just threw.
Okay, well.
And that's a recent change, if that's the case. Cody Sutherland is playing third. David Baum,
Cody's
the other
playing
player.
third, eh?
Cody's playing lead. David Baum is the other player, and he did throw the draw to the button as well. So maybe he's playing third now.
Okay, well, we'll take a look at that.
Yeah.
So, you're from Saskatoon. Are you familiar with these young gentlemen?
Yeah. They've been to a few tankards. They were there again this year, so I've seen them a bit. But I'm not sure when the lineup change would have happened.
So why don't you give us a bit of a scouting report? What do you know of their style?
Well, they will play fairly aggressively with last rock, but they don't take a lot of chances without. They actually played a game that was they're playing against a senior team, not my own, but they're playing against a senior team in the Spiel here, and it was nothing after five going into the sixth. So they play the up weight very well. They're not afraid to play the run backs and such, but they weren't at that time anyway. They weren't prepared to throw a lot of guards without last rock. They were waiting for an opening. It just didn't happen in that particular game. So they're a little bit more conservative without last rock for sure.
You see, this team definitely has youth on their side, and unfortunately, the ice was not on their side there as they flashed right on by. So a little extra opportunity here for Brad.
Yeah. Looking for the chance to get rid of the red. And I think he's thinking they can roll undercover with this as well.
Huge crowd in the lounge there in Martensville. Both downstairs and upstairs had capacity crowds last night. Looks pretty full right now as well.
Be a little thin. Yeah.
They do clear the Moser stone out the back in line 3.
Angle's probably not quite there for a triple. Definitely, he's got choices on the doubles, or he's going to play the hit and roll, try to group everything. You try to play a double right now, even if you make it, you're never going to get those 2 rocks back together. So the thought here is you try to play the hit roll to get the 3 yellows closer together after they hit again, and maybe you have a chance to get all of them at once and get out of this little bit of trouble.
Yeah, just a bit of a pickle at the moment. They just catch that one. Will that one get out? Just does. So a little bit of line issues early on for Team Moser.
Mm-hmm. Trying to remember back to the tankard myself. So Cody Sutherland, so he throws the lead stones, but I'm pretty sure he was the vice at the tankard as well. Former skip in juniors himself. This doesn't look light.
And it's going to hang on in the back.
Gives you a couple of options here. If you're Moser, you could make the hit and long roll across in front of it. If you're a little bit thin on the first one, you might make the double. Again, I don't think the angle's quite right to try to touch all 3 of them. I think if you're getting the 2 that are close together, you're probably too thin and you go underneath the one on the other side. Looking for a long roll across.
So Tessier, yep, on the sweep there.
Yeah, you might want to roll a little bit here. If you stay right there, the angle's pretty close to where you could make a pass at the triple. Now there's a lot of room between them, so you wouldn't have much margin for error, but it gets close to that 90 degrees you need.
So here's Mark Nichols, a long-time third for Brad Gushue.
Well, the angle's probably pretty close, but you're looking to hit the first one very, very thin. And the scary part of that is you ever go right by it, and it's a draw to sit 4.
Yeah, they got themselves a little bit behind the 8 ball here early. That's great if you make it.
Well, yeah, but I think you have to hit something, and that's the only one you can get to. You're not hitting the one that's corner frozen. You're not hitting the one that's buried. And the hit and roll's a little, like, it seems a little safer because, again, to play the triple or even the long double, you're flirting with missing that rock altogether. It's so thin.
So Brad Moser. Makes a hit, no roll to be had. Shot's down at the moment.
Maybe. Second shot for sure.
I can't imagine Gushue's going to leave it there.
No, he's going to hit it. I think they're just looking at, do they need to roll? I think hit it right on the nose. I think you're biting. And that red that they're corner frozen to on the side looks to be out of the rings. The only thing you might be worried about here is if you hit this right on the nose, stick it right there. Brad Moser's get out of jail card is to try to freeze to that rock at the back of the 12-foot, because then he could be behind cover and shot rock, and you wouldn't be able to get it out. You could try to roll in and get shot. Hard to do that and pass it by your own stone at the side of the 12-foot.
First and 2 here for Gushue. And they lie 3.
Yeah. Freeze on the back once. You still could make it where you're shot rock. The slash double that he's looking at is really tough.
Not a lot of places to hide here if you're Bradley Moser.
Well, no, the freeze is your safest bet.
That's it,
Freeze
yeah.
to the back one, and then you're partly behind cover, so it doesn't have to be as perfect. He's leery about leaving too many yellows around. Like, so this looks like they're playing the hit and try to roll over there, which is tough to make perfect, but you know at worst you're giving up 3 playing this.
Final the first for Moser.
Sweeping for curl early, that's not a good sign.
They're going to clip it and not get really any roll whatsoever. Get a nose hit for 3.
Don't have any audio on the players this game at all, but I'm guessing the discussion there would have been about which turn does he want to play and how much weight. Don't know whether they've been on this sheet yet or not. I don't think so.
This looks like a solid board weight broom. The down weights are Brad's happy place. Final stone of the opening end. On it, through it goes. 1, 2, and 3 yellows for Brad Gushue. He takes the lead. Moser has a hammer when we come back to Martensville after this.
Developed over a decade in collaboration with the finest ice makers this side of the Atlantic, the Pebblehead PB5 is nothing short of a triumph of sophistication and craftsmanship. Weighing less than half its lumbering copper predecessors, yet boasting tenfold their durability, the PB5 delivers perfect, consistent ice, time after time. The PB5 by Pebbleheads.com, the apex of ice-making ingenuity for the roaring game of curling.
Brett, come on, man. I know Aztec's #1 for online safety training, but we really should be out here practicing.
I know, guys. I'll be right there. Just let me finish this course on gas detection. Wait. Do you smell that?
And welcome back to Martensville. It's a curling stadium. Martensville International Invitational Bonspiel. 10 teams were invited. And here we have Brad Gushue versus Bradley Moser.
Cody Sutherland would probably like it if we had come back from commercial just about 10 seconds later. So we wouldn't have had to see that go by.
That's okay. These brushers are standing right up too.
Well, they are, but they're up 3. I don't think they were throwing a guard.
And it's going to nuzzle on in, and they lie 1-2.
Yeah, this is the problem with missing the first one. And I expect what he was playing, because you're down 3, you need a corner guard, but they were probably playing the delayed corner tactic where you hit the one in the middle of the first shot and then throw up the corner on the second one. Well, now there's 2 in the middle. He can't really do that. And this means, best case scenario for Brad Moser right now, he's headed for a blank end after lead stones, and he's down 3. That's, not the end he wants to play, but it's what he's got left.
And they do clear the Gushue stone out. And we are on our way to Blanksville.
Yeah, a lot of stones to be exchanged yet.
Brendan Botcher, former Brier champion out of Alberta, now on the Gushue rink. So Moser trying to get something going with the guard here.
Yeah, trying to throw the corner guard now, but of course now we're on the 7th stone of the end, so Brad has the option to peel it.
And he will exercise said option.
Yeah, if you're Moser's team, you got to be a little careful throwing these corners that you don't get it tight enough that Brad could try to remove the guard and roll into the rings. Because if he could sit 2 off you, then not only are you not in a great offensive opportunity, but you're going to be looking at getting forced. If he really wants to try to do something here, at some point in time, he's likely going to have to come around that yellow. and you don't want it to be too late, because if something goes wrong, you still want time to be able to bail out.
This one's crawling across the center line, over the hog line, and up right in the middle of the GSOC logo. Of course, Martensville was the host of a Tier 2 event earlier this year. If you missed any of that action, you can go on our archives on YouTube. All those games are up there. It's a pretty good spiel.
Was. I watched a lot of games that weekend. So he's going to hit it. I thought he might, if you wanted to play an offensive opportunity, this would be the one where you'd come around. He doesn't want to take that kind of risk with rocks in the ring, so he's just going to hit it and try to play for his blank now.
Here's Tessier. No problem there. As we go up and down the ice. Mark Nichols looking to return the favor here.
While they do this, we could mention Brad Moser came in with a record of 0-2. Brad Gushue comes in with a record of 2-0. It is possible. So 5 teams out of the 10 make the playoffs. It is mathematically possible for a team to make the playoffs at 3 losses. But it would require a 6-way tie, and you'd have to win the draw to the button, the cumulative draw to the button. So you don't want to leave yourself in that spot. 2 losses is definitely not dead. 2 losses, somebody with 2 losses is going to make the playoffs. So for Brad Moser, desperately would like to come up with a win here to keep himself at no worse than 2 losses. Brad Gushue could guarantee himself a spot in the playoffs if he picks up his 3rd win. He still has to play Kevin Tuma. That one's later tonight, and Tuma's off in this draw, but he's already at 3-0. So that game will decide who wins the B pool.
And what an experience, though, for Team Moser to play against arguably one of the best curlers of all time. I mean, there's a few people that you might put on that list that everybody's going to have their own pick, but holy heck does Brad have a resume.
Mm-hmm. The roll back to the center line, so if Gushue was to ever hit this on the nose, he could play whichever turn he wanted to, play your preference. As much as it's a longer rollout, a lot of guys would prefer to be hitting something in the middle to make the blank.
And we're not on time clocks here, but you see Brad already knows what the shot's going to be, so he was waiting for it. Ice crew appreciates that. And right on the beak. So blank attempt upcoming for Bradley Moser. Final stone. We're going to make the blank, and it's going to be a force. One red goes on the board. Gushue has hammer. When we come back to Martensville after this, you're watching Curling Stadium on SSN.
Aztec Safety is #1 for online safety training.
Aztec Safety is the proud sponsor of the Aztec Safety Challenge, the #1 event on the World Curling Tour.
And Aztec Safety has been a proud sponsor of Team Jacobs on our quest to represent Canada at the Olympic Games.
He's got last rock.
And welcome back to Martensville. Here on Curling Stadium, it's the Martensville International. A missed blank attempt by Bradley Moser caused the force and a single point. So Brad Gushue will have hammer throwing the Yellowstones here in end number 3. Thank you so much for joining us. Happy to have you. If you haven't done so yet, please take this moment to give us a like, a thumbs up on the stream, and subscribe to Curling Zone. Doesn't cost you anything, but you can stay up to date on all your favorite teams all season long.
And I think, like, just as we came back from the break, you saw the yellow one coming over to the side. I think what happened there was the red one had slipped into the ring, so that was a hit and roll to the corner for Jeff Walker on the first one. The second center guard is made a little bit better. It's out in front. Just barely, though.
This one's skating on them a little bit. And they're just playing the big split here.
Yeah. Well, again, you're 2 points up with. You don't have to take a lot of chances. And the other side of the coin is you split the house, so there's going to be no double. Is Brad Moser really willing to risk coming around the center guard? You make this hit and roll in, and there's a chance Brad plays the guard off regardless. So there's never any risk. You could come around the middle right now and try to force them to make the run back, but if they make it, it's looking bad for a deuce. Pretty good roll. Probably forces Brad to play that. You could go after the double. I mean, he could try to run the two reds. There are probably teams that would play that shot. Didn't want to roll that way. Needs to get the roll under here. It's a good opportunity.
Will they get the roll? They get half of it, not all of it.
Yeah, still gives Brad the chance to roll back to the wide corner. Get these all spread out again. You'd be right back to the same problem for Brad Moser that he had at the start of the end. Is again, your best shot to get out of trouble is the draw, but it's also awfully risky. Might not make contact. Wow.
It just makes contact. Will Nichols be able to pull it out? Yes, he will. Still going to play the hit and rolling well behind the tee line.
Mm-hmm. Got to be a little careful here. If you jammed it on that red stone, I think it might still be in the rings.
And they do clear it by. Will it stick around? It certainly will. So later on this evening at 7 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock in the East, we have two more featured games. We have Brad Gushue versus Tuma. And then we have Mike McEwen versus Dylan Dirksen. Once again, that's at 7 o'clock Central, 8 Eastern, here on Curling Stadium.
Does not want to roll this behind. Held it well enough to stay out in the open. You roll that behind and Brad Moser tries the freeze.
So you see Brad Moser risking the draw here now.
Thinking about it anyway.
That's what he's doing. On the way for Team Moser. Looking to bury this behind their center guard. Messier and Sutherland watching it come on down. The stone off the hand of David Baum. Just a skosh behind the tee line, but pretty good.
Yeah, pretty well lined up. Brad's not thinking about the run back here. He wants to play the hit and roll into the ring, sit second and third. Make it a little bit risky to try to protect that one stone.
So Mark Nichols. on the guard. Peel it, and they do weasel that stone onto the rings. It's going to have to be addressed. Well, it should be addressed.
It's the easier one to go after. You got to go after one of them. You can't leave two in there. You probably want to roll in just far enough to be second shot, because if you try to roll in front of your own, you're probably leaving a double. I think you can roll to, so you got to bite the 8-foot to be second. You might be able to do that just kind of right in behind the first A in National. Double would still be a possibility, but it's tough. It's on a bit of an angle. If you're not second shot, you could just hit the shot stone and sit two. This looks like a lot of weight and a lot of line. Yeah, I think now you're hitting the shot stone and try to roll kind of behind the one that was just thrown. Maybe not all the way in behind, maybe half in behind. You roll all the way in behind and he's freezing to it.
So Potcher with the broom down for Brad Gushue. He asked for just a skosh more ice. Nichols off and on this one. Now Walker on the carve. They're going to get the hit. They're going to spill all the way out.
Yeah, too far.
A little bit of a brushing error there.
Now a chance to get to the force.
Be a great result for Moser right now. Sam asking for bumper weight. And the last from Moser is on the way. Hold line, get past the guard, no problem.
Needs to hold the shooter.
Will the shooter hang on? No, it does not. And now you just gave up the blank. You just have to make sure you don't jam that one in the corner.
You'd have to be really unlucky for it to jam and stay, too.
It's extremely unlucky, but it's definitely there.
It's there, yeah. But it's coming in at an angle where you should pick up some spin after it makes contact. So.
Final stone of end number 3. Looking for the blank. Team from St. John's. And they make it well enough. The blank goes in the books. Gushue will have the hammer in 4 when we come back to Martensville.
Who knew after 20 years in real estate I'd have to make silly videos for Instagram and come out behind a tree?
Stu, we need to do this stuff.
Why can't I just door knock into open houses like I did in the old days?
That doesn't work anymore.
Okay, so it's because I'm sitting here behind a tree. Come use us for real estate.
All right, real talk for a second. If your snack situation hasn't changed in years, maybe it's time for an upgrade. The Chocolate Lab makes legit chocolate that's worth paying attention to. That's it. Back to whatever you were doing.
And we are back in Martensville, the curling stadium, Martensville International, here on Curling Stadium. It was a blank in end number 3 for Brad Gushue. He retains a hammer, leading by 2 over Team Bradley Moser. Dave Schmel and Sean Joyce here with you. Connor Sims on our production, and Jerry Gertz is our London, Ontario studios. So, Sean, it feels like we've been in a holding pattern for the last 10 and a half.
Well, yeah, a little bit. There's been open play in the house and not a lot of chances taken. At some point in time, Bradley Moser's going to have to play a little bit more aggressively here when he's down 2. He'd love to get a force, but, here we go. We're into the even end. A lot of these top teams, and certainly Brad Gushue, one of them, he's not going to mind the idea of scoring in the even end. So if you start trying to force him in 4, he might just take the opportunity to score 2. I thought he would have pushed the play a little bit more in the 3rd.
We'll see the Gushue rock. They're just nibbling the button. Moser frozen on top. And here's Tessier. Way outside, they got to keep this guy moving. Score number 1, number 2. Do you get all the way up and lock onto yours? Just a little bit short.
Good angle, though. That was the 5th stone. Brad would like to open up the middle a little bit. Slice this red across the top of the yellow, have it come back and kill one of those reds. It would certainly improve things in the house. The angles on the reds aren't great for Brad. There you go.
Opens it all up, clears it up, and just 2 stones in the rings. Shot stone for Gushue. Moser right on top again.
Yeah, he'll need to throw a guard.
And that's the call.
It'll be guard peel for a while, and then, Brad Moser has to make a decision when he's going to make a play on the rocks and the rings, and if he waits 1 too long, Brad Gushue might try to score 2 or 3 on him. This is the cat and mouse part. It takes a little bit of patience to watch this part, but this is always fun too.
It's a relatively high guard.
Even so, this is earlier than I thought he might make the play in the rings. You could peel this for a while because you know he's going to keep putting the guard back.
So Brendan Botcher with his second. Walker and Nichols dragging on down, and it's going to lock up there. Just a little bump, but very nice outcome.
Good bump. It set the angle up for the red to go by the yellow.
You see the same weight call here from Bradley Moser. So what's a perfect shot here?
Well, if you could get just ever so slightly across the nose and do that same kind of tap. So you tap the red to corner freeze the yellow, and then because you're just slightly across the nose, the first yellow is going to pop out a little bit. You'd have both of them angled. You'd have red-yellow angles from the intern side on both of them. You stay on the broom side, you could still leave all the angles favoring Brad Gushue, and this has got a curl. They went plan B. They're trying to come by the first one and freeze the second one.
Not terrible.
It's not great. There's a good look at it. You can see all of that rock with enough to pass it by the yellow. He did move the yellow a little bit. You saw Brad take a look at the angle. Hard to tell whether or not it goes by now or not. I don't think it changes anything here. You're still going to hit the stone that was just delivered, try to roll to the corner, have the yellows start to pile up, and it becomes risky for Brad Moser to ignore a lot of yellow stones, but he's got one lonely red in the middle, so he might not have any choice. He might have to continue to play freezes against the potential for a huge end. Well, another rollout, though.
So with that rollout, can Team Moser take advantage?
Yeah, it looks like he's trying. It was plan B on the last one, but it looks like he's playing it this time to try to corner freeze the shot stone. This is really tough.
So David Baum with his second. Sutherland trying to get it by. It just chaps off and sits open.
Well, he's slowly but surely changing the angles to where that yellow-red might touch the shot stone, but, I mean, it doesn't change anything for now. Brad's still going to play the... Oh, he's looking at... Can he get to the inside enough to...
Lock it in there, he's thinking.
Yeah, it's a possibility. It's a thought, right?
Oh, a lot of things are thoughts. So, Nichols trying to make this freeze into the pocket. It's not light.
It's not tight for line either.
So now they're going plan B on their own. They're just past everything. Same shot back now for Moser.
Yeah, you freeze the pocket now, and you're in good shape for at least a force. You've still got the run back, too. You run the red guard into the yellow red at the top, like it's probably clipping that stone off the button. You want to make the freeze first. Then, Brad doesn't really have a way to get this one out.
I don't think we've ever called a game with two skips named Brad.
Well, it must have happened because Jacobs is around too.
Oh,
Not this weekend,
okay.
but
Yeah, not this weekend. You're right. Well, he's all the way across. He's on a different continent right now.
this is way out there too.
Already on the carve, trying to work it over. Tessier get it there. It's gonna hang out there.
Yeah, it's a nose hit double though.
All day. There you see the angles. Just strike that red on the right-hand side as we're looking at it. Dead on the nose. You kill them both.
Might be able to get a sliver to the inside and make it, but just a sliver. If you hit it right on the nose, you're going to leave the slash double. Mind you, that you're probably okay with that because he probably loses a shooter.
First stone in the fourth end for Brad Gushue. Trying to make this double takeout. Walker picks it up right away. Now we like it. We're back and forth. Good signs all around. Make the double. It's going to lie on out there. They do sit shot stone. Not a lot of good options for Bradley Moser here.
Yeah, I mean, you get the hit and just roll slightly to the inside. You'd probably leave Brad nothing but the draw. Wide draw. You'd have to get around the stones at the top of the 4-foot. You hit it on the nose, he's going to have some kind of a double for... Well, it might only be 3 because if you hit it right on the nose, you might kill the one at the back, but...
And do you think that you could hit the one on the top of the 4-foot, just the inside edge and weasel in? It's tough. I'm not saying it's easy.
Well, yeah, you couldn't get very far in, but you get a little bit of a roll to kind of beside your other stone, and probably can't kill. Probably can't kill both the red ones.
Yeah, it probably makes a tough draw for 2.
Yeah, that's really all you can do. You don't want to hit it right on the nose. You hit it right on the nose because you can see a piece of that yellow. He can come off the yellow into the one you're about to throw and double the 2 reds out. So you got to get a bit of a roll so that you can't do that.
Well, I'm pretty sure that's the call here.
Yep.
Probably the best shot in the sheet. Just, well, damn difficult.
You might even touch the back end of the yellow that's full 8-foot and spin in a little bit just to take away a little bit more scoring area. Like it's an awful small port between the yellows to hit the yellow and go directly into the red. You're more likely to hit that other yellow a little bit off the back end, I think.
So Bradley Moser with his last of the fourth. Needs to feather this one in. Just catch the inside edge and flop on down towards the button. Can he get inside enough? That's not terrible.
Yeah, that probably does the trick. I mean, there are guys, maybe even a couple of them in the field, that would try to hit that red really thin on the outside and hope they both go, but Mark's looking at it. I mean, it's there from the outturn side too.
Oh,
well,
he wants to throw that, yeah. They don't call him Bam Bam for no reason.
You got the draw. You need full 4 foot. You do have to go awfully wide to get by the stone that was just thrown.
Yes, will be a difficult draw. See if he's up to the task. Final stone on the fourth end. Sits one, needs full 4. Jeff Walker. Mark Nichols. Trying to get it there for the skipper.
Line's close.
Is the week going to be close enough? It's really, really close. The brooms go up in the air because it is good indeed. Hang 2 for yellow. It's a 4-stone lead for Brad Gushue. We'll be back in the 5th end after this on Curling Stadium.
Yes. Whoa. Oh, boy.
Welcome back to Martensville. Score 2 for Brad Gushue. Now we're going to try to get you updated on the other games here. And we see Team McEwen standing there in the heck.
Yeah, thankful that they're not playing with timer clock. Still playing in the third there. McEwen with the 2-0 lead, but I think Hebert with last rock in yellow has a little bit something going there in the third. Sean Meacham, Jordan McDonald on sheet 2. It looks to be Meacham with the what's with all the red, black and red jackets again.
Well, that's Team Meacham. They are trailing.
Okay, but they have last rock because third end's not marked up yet, so we're not sure there, but it was 2-1 after 2. Our feature's getting a little bit more open now with a 5-1 lead. Brad Moser's going to have to be a little bit more aggressively here as we play in the sixth and in the fifth. And over on sheet 4,
There's Team Clyder.
Rogan Snow with, it looks like a 3-2 lead over Team Clyder as they play in the fourth.
And we got you caught up there. And back here on our game, we see it's 2 stones in the rings for Brad Gushue. And this stone from Cody Sutherland is on the way.
And a wide corner guard on the left side as we look at it, trying to throw the corner on the other side now.
And they have their split corners. See some of the folks sitting there in the lounge. It's been big crowds here all weekend. Love to see the support. So, Brandon Butcher.
This is just kind of your standard defense against the double corners. You pile your first 3 in the middle, 2 in the house, then you throw a guard. And you know that Brad Moser has to deal with these at some point in time. He's going to try to deal with them early. Playing the run
sit
here.
There forever, yeah.
Yeah, but you don't want to lose your shooter here. Not critical to kill all these. You'd like to move 2 and hold your shooter on the corner somewhere. It's not a bad result. Leaves the yellow at the top of the 8-foot, but he's got another red to work with. That yellow that's left outside the rings is essentially a tight corner guard.
You're not going to hurt him that much.
No, and there's a lot of rocks out there. Like, again, Brad with a 4-point lead doesn't really want guards, but it's hard. The easiest one to peel or to try any kind of double peel is the one that's closest to the center. That's not really the one he'd like to move first, but he'd like to get 2 here.
So Botcher trying to make that double peel. On the one over the top. Just gets a single peel. So now Moser's going to try to hide underneath that corner guard. Get something going here, trailing by 4. Fifth into play. Once again, the top 5 teams will be making the playoffs. Brad Gushue will stamp his ticket with a win in this draw. If Moser cannot get a win, he's got some hoping and praying to do.
Yeah, he'll need a lot of help. I mean, I think when I was looking at the standings beforehand, that scenario is still possible.
I'm not even fractionally smart enough to figure that out.
Well, the only way it can happen is if you get 2 teams that go through, one on either side at 4-0, 2 teams that go through at 3-1, which means those 2 teams, first and second each pool, beat everybody else in their pool. And then the remaining 6 teams, 3 in each pool, have to go 1-1 head-to-head. So everybody would end up 1-3. You could end up with a 6-way tie at 1-3. And then it would go to draw to the button. So not only do you need help, but you also need to have a good draw to the button score.
Well, both these teams had pretty good LSDs this game. Team Gushue had a grand total of 0 for 2 draws. And Moser was 0 plus, back 4 was it?
He might even still had a piece of the button, but he didn't get the line to cover the pin.
So it's certainly 2 draws that most likely help their cause.
Nice roll there. It's one where you almost don't want to be dead in behind, because if you're dead in behind, it's a short run where it would still be buried. Short run's still there, but you're either, if you're on the nose, you're rolling it over. If you're off the nose, your shooter rolls, and then there's a rock to freeze to.
It will be the short run here for Nichols. Not even touching it, just a bit now. Bang, bang.
Yeah, left the room to come around the corner, though, now.
Plenty of room around the corner.
You'd have to come deep if you're coming around the yellow one.
Like
There's
back
a port.
8.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's going to be a short run against a team and a player in particular who throws them really well.
Yeah, don't know what else you could possibly call.
Yeah, no, I think you play it. If he makes the run and sticks it back there, you got something to freeze to.
So David Baum. His last of the 5th. Jeff Walker and Jacques Gauthier yucking it up on the sideline. Tessier trying to carve this one underneath. They got a good piece under, almost 3/4 under, it looks like.
Yeah, it's not enough
Still
under.
visible.
Probably not deep enough either.
So the broom goes down for the chase immediately.
Yeah, he's got plenty of room to try to move it through. This might be one actually where you want to also like roll to the other side of the 4-foot, and then the come around doesn't do any good. They had to stop to take a look at the camera behind. I don't know whether they're watching. Maybe they're watching the Olympics too.
Obviously, the Olympic Winter Games going on in Cortienda and Piazza. Absolutely stunningly beautiful facility. I had the opportunity to be there for the World Juniors last year. Great place. Every place you walk out, it's like you're living in a postcard. Which may or may not ever get there.
This is really tight.
Walker has his head down.
Good job on the brush.
He got it.
Did leave him room to hit and roll behind, though.
There will be the opportunity. So Bradley Moser looking to just come on down with maybe hackish weight. Push the Gushue stone back and lie under cover.
Yeah, you probably like the big roll here, I think. Try to get, a foot and a half under just so that you're not straight behind that yellow. It's not going to be a long run if you leave it. Now, that may not be the shot Brad chooses to play. If it was Mark, they'd play it.
His first and 2 here in the 5th.
It's got to curl. You got to get under cover for sure. They will.
And get the hit. They get the flop.
Yeah, that's really good.
Pretty good, buddy.
If you want to play the run, it's an angle now.
Not an easy one.
Nope.
So do you ever just draw?
Well, you certainly could. I mean, Brad could have done that anyway. I mean, he's so good at those. You make the draw, though, and Brad Moser is probably playing the angle run in on the red guard to try to score 2. So he's going to try the angle on the yellow himself.
So just a little bit off nose.
Yeah. Doesn't have to whip it. This is more about the line. You're hitting this close enough to the nose that you're going to carry most of your weight through on the raised stone. You will see, and it's not just Brad, you see a lot of these top teams, since they've learned what they can do with the brushes, they will bring the weight down on these types of runbacks, bring the sweepers into it. It's a different question when you're throwing, to hit the third of a rock because you're not carrying as much weight through, but just needs to be a sliver on the center line side.
And no, it wrecks on their own.
That was 2 slivers.
That was 2 slivers and 5 Scotias. It's going to be a draw for 2 for Bradley Moser.
Draw for 2 and get a little bit of momentum back. He needed this. The first 4 ends did not go their way. You get your deuce here, you're back to within 2. I'd like to see them continue to play aggressive in the 6th, though.
Draw the 8-foot here. Get himself back in the game. Bradley Moser, final stone of the 5th. Sutherland and Tessier walking it down. A nice little scrub, a good solid clean. And the skipper has this one, no problem. Put 2 on the board for red. They trail by 2. Gushue has a hammer when we return on Curling Stadium.
Developed over a decade in collaboration with the finest ice makers this side of the Atlantic, the Pebblehead PB5 is nothing short of a triumph of sophistication and craftsmanship. Weighing less than half its lumbering copper predecessors, yet boasting 10-fold their durability, the PB5 delivers perfect, consistent ice, time after time. The PB5 by Pebbleheads.com, the apex of ice-making ingenuity for the roaring game of curling.
Brett, come on, man. I know Aztec's #1 for online safety training, but we really should be out here practicing.
I know, guys. I'll be right there. Just let me finish this course on gas detection. Wait. Do you smell that?
And we're back in Martensville. A much needed score, too, for Bradley Moser there in end number 5, Sean.
It was, and maybe a little help out with some momentum. They have had a few issues getting in started out. You see here, they've got the nice tight center guard with the piece of the line, so you can't tick it. We saw him do this once earlier, try to do this once earlier. It didn't work out for them. You got to make this freeze if you're going to play it. If you're thinking you need 2 center guards here to get a steal, you're seeing this creep into the strategy lexicon of a lot of teams where you throw the first guard, they come to the top of the forefoot, you throw the second guard, or the second rock, you freeze, they freeze again, and now you throw your second guard so that you're never facing 2 when you start coming in.
This one is over curling badly. It's not going to get there. Chisels off their own.
Well, and the worst part of that, too, you can't play it yet, but on the first stone for Brennan Botcher, that's a pretty simple double peel on the 2 reds.
Jeff Walker second. Mosey's on past the guard. They lie 1-2. Bryden Tessier. This young team from Saskatoon getting to play some of the all-time greats.
Nice attempt. It at least altered the angle on those, the double peel. Problem is you could maybe now make all 3 of them go just a sliver high. Touch the second one on the way by, and then it should spin over the top and get all 3 of them.
Botcher fires away. You move 1, 2, 3, and you do spin them all out of the way. Great shot by Brennan Botcher. So Bradley has a bit of that what do I do now look.
This wouldn't be my first choice. He's looking for the nose hit here, which would mean he stays in front of the yellow. But Brad Gushue won't have any problem just blasting everything out, leaving nothing but that one rock on the corner. And he didn't get the nose hit either.
Hit right back for Brad Gushue. July 2. He has no problem with things being open now. This one is on the outside. They catch just enough of it. Lose the shooter. So Moser's going to try to hit and hide here.
Yeah, which, I mean, it's all he's got right now, but you make the hit and roll behind cover, Brad Goose is just going to draw behind the corner and see if he can't generate his deuce. He's got no risk. There's nothing in the middle. If you're Brad Moser, you might have been happier if the Gushue team had hit that rock on the nose a minute ago. Then you could at least throw a center guard, and he'd have to peel it. They'd have to get it by stones on either side.
Yeah, Gushue's going to go for the same thing. Shot from Nichols is going to spill out of the rings.
Well, you make the come around, you got a chance to get the force. I do, well, yeah, it's Brad Gushue. You throw the center guard, he's liable to come around and try to get his two. You still might have to do that once. Again, you make this shot perfect, they're going to freeze down to it and try to get two. And there's nothing in the middle, so there's no risk.
And that being a strategy that Gushue employs just because he just loves to draw, right?
Well, it's anybody. Like, there's no risk. There's nothing in the middle. So you got your chance to try to score two here, you take it. Like, if you don't, if everything goes wrong with you the rest of the end, you have the whole 4-foot to draw to with your last one. You might have been better off there to throw one center guard. Yes, I realize it skips, or third's last stone, there's a chance they try to come around it. But at least if they're coming around the middle, you've got a better chance that maybe you can get a little bit of a break. You'd come around the corner later. I just don't know that you wanted to try it this early. You'd come around later to try to get the force. Yeah, that's not bad for Gushue either. If you're trying to come under, you won't be shot rock. If you come to the yellow, well, you sure don't want to bounce it. It came just enough because it's got that little sliver of a freeze and it's just fully open. So it's hard for Moser to get rid of the yellow. Drawing under the corner, he wouldn't be shot rock. So he's got to play a freeze himself.
So we're talking about all this risk here. With that being said, would you ever just whack it and try to get Brad Gushue to blank it?
Well, yeah, but you can't on this shot. You whack it on this one and roll out, he's got another chance to come around and score two. That's the thing. That's why I say he went in too early, in my opinion. If you come around later, you have a chance for the force.
So here's Bradley Moser. His first to two in end number 6.
Certainly looks like it's curling earlier than Marks did. And this is the problem. This is over curled.
By a good margin.
And now Brad can draw a full 8-foot on the other side, and he's got a chance for two here. I sound like a broken record, but he's never taken any risk in this end.
going to be extremely difficult for Moser to get out of this without giving up 2 now.
Well, yeah. Brad probably has to be behind the tee line to make sure that he doesn't give up a chance for the double. And then Moser might have to make a decision. Okay, can we afford to give up another 2? And if the decision is no, he might have to try to lock the freeze on. If he could put it on perfect, then, Brad could blast it out, but he probably loses the shooter. That's only for 1. But you'd be counting on making a perfect freeze if that's the case. And that's not easy, but you might very well be in a position where you don't get a choice now. Scoreboard might say you have to play a shot with very little margin of error.
Brad Gushue with his first of 2 here.
Yeah,
Does come behind the tee line.
Sorry, Dave. He had to be that deep to make sure there wasn't a double opportunity. He's content to just hit it and give up the shot for 2.
Hoping to hit this open one. Tessier and Sutherland seem relatively happy. That'll work. But it does just leave this wide open hit for Brad Gushue for 2. Final still in the 6th end. Just hit it and stick it. Walker on it for the curl. This looks just fine. But 2 on the board for yellow. And Brad Gushue has a 4-stone lead as we move to end number 7 from Martensville. We'll be back on Curling Stadium.
Aztec Safety is #1 for online safety training.
Aztec Safety is the proud sponsor of the Aztec Safety Challenge, the #1 event on the World Curling Tour.
And Aztec Safety has been a proud sponsor of Team Jacobs on our quest to represent Canada at the Olympic Games.
And welcome back to Martensville. It was a deuce for Brad Gushue. He has a commanding 4-stone lead here in pool play at the Martensville Curling Stadium International. So happy to have you joining us here on Curling Stadium. If you have not yet subscribed to Curling Stadium, what are you waiting for? We'll keep it going all year long with all kinds of action. You can search all your favorite teams. We have live streams and replays constantly. If you have a curling itch, we can scratch it. Speaking of it, getting his itch scratched, Gushue got it pretty easy too there.
I don't know where you were going with that, but I was thinking we probably needed medical advice. I was just wondering, and we're going to get the answer before we get a chance to ask it. That first corner guard was wide and long. We haven't seen this yet this weekend, but it looks like they're going to play to stack the two corners on the same side.
So playing to stack them up.
That's pretty good. He's got them pretty well lined up. Can't play the double peel yet. This is still just the 5th stone of the end. I wonder if it factored in at all, that we can only speculate, because Jeff Walker plays a lot of doubles. So if you're trying to play the corner guard in this situation and you play it tight, thinking they're tighter anyway, thinking that you're going to play the corner on the other side, Jeff Walker has played that tick shot into the rings plenty playing doubles. And that's I like that one. It's a shot that's it's made its way into 4-player curling from the doubles. You can't tick a guard on the center line now because there's no tick zone, but if you throw that corner guard, you could tick it into the house and then you're able to hit something on the next one. So you throw a high corner first and then you throw the tight corner, but you've got to stack them to do that.
So we have 3 stones in the ring for Brad Gushue and Bradley Moser. Obviously, it's all out here.
Yeah, it's a good setup, though, for Moser, because Gushue would prefer to have his 3 stones in a line on the center line, and that is not what he's got. He's got them all spread out and 2 corner guards. There's stuff for Brad to freeze to. He's got corner guards to come around later on. The double peel's not easy. I don't think you wanted to be short of the rings here. Be some kind of double opportunity now.
Which one does he want? Take the center and the tight one. So Botcher trying to clean up here on aisle 2. 1 and 2 and out the side door all the way. Nice double peel by Brendan Botcher.
Yeah, and just like that, the situation's not as good for Moser.
Just a beautiful release there.
Important to get to the top end of that second red stone so that it can spin up and out. Moser probably has to replace the tight corner now, keep them in line. Let them peel the top one, and then you have to make a decision what you're going to do with those rocks and the rings.
This one is going to drift into the house.
It can be in as long as it's dead buried.
It's comatose buried.
Yeah, I think you could still chase it.
Yeah, it's not quite dead.
And if he happens to chip the guard, that doesn't hurt Brad. It doesn't hurt Gushue. I got to stop saying Brad.
Yeah, you can't just say that, right?
Unless I was betting on who's winning. Game.
My money's on Brad.
I play the odds.
And they do make that little chase. So time not on Bradley Moser's side now.
No, he's got to find a way to get at least 2 here. And if you only score 2, you still have to steal 2. So you'd like to get 3 in.
How you doing that?
Well, it's real tough. You'd like to have 2 guards to do that. So when he gave up the double peel, it started to get real tough then. He had a decent setup off the start of the end, coming up short on that third one, leaving the double peel opportunity. Now they're scrambling a bit. Plan B here, go around that rock. Yeah, you could bury this at the back of the 8, it's fine.
You get a little chisel.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, that could definitely score later.
Well, yeah. I mean, Brad, to go after it, he's going to have to try to raise a Yellowstone up. If he happens to miss it, he's taking care of one of these yellows for you. You made him make a tougher shot. Now, unfortunately, the guy you've forced to make a tougher shot is Mark Nicholson. He makes a lot of these. And he
Kinda
made
like
this
that?
one. Yep.
You see a smile there off of Brad Gushue. Yeah, he had that all day. So the last from Baum.
Yeah, it's not going to get the freeze.
Looks like Brad Gushue is ready to just ignore that one.
Oh, yeah, for sure. He's not hitting that. You jam it onto something. That's the only way it ends up on the scoreboard. Problem is he doesn't really want to guard anything either. He's thinking about peeling that. And mostly because it's there to be... So if you throw any kind of a guard, Brad tries to run that one in on an angle to the stone at the back of the button, and you'd end up guarding the red one.
Well, I could always pull a Kevin Martin, just throw it away.
Well, then he's got the hit and roll under, too, so... He'll be looking to hit this really thin. Make sure it goes over the top of the yellow in the 8-foot. As soon as they got a piece, they'll be on the brushes.
Waiting for it to come on over. There you go. You got it, no problem. And Bradley Moser in a world of hurt here. He's going to have to try to pop this and go underneath the yellow.
Won't be shot rock if you make this, but you're hoping Brad tries the short run and misses it.
At this point, all you have are some hopes, really.
Well, exactly. But, you know, you can make it a short run. That's as much as you see these shots made all the time, they're still not gimmies. They still got to make it. It's still a good shot. Like, you want to make them throw something a little bit tougher here. You don't want to leave anything open.
We do this all year, Sean. We see plenty of them miss, too.
Yep. You know, you tend to assume, we assume, they assume as well. You assume your opposition's going to make it. We assume they're going to make it, but every once in a while, they don't.
So Tessier is on this one, coast to coast.
Yeah, I'm not sure he's making the roll. I'm prepared to assume he's going to make this one too.
I think that's a pretty safe bet there, buddy.
You're not going to take me up on that one, eh?
Nope. I mean, heck yeah. I mean, you've seen me play. I have a good shot at making it.
Well, you might be stretching it a bit now.
Oh. Give me just a skosh of love.
I'm not using that word.
That's fine. And as expected, there it goes.
Greedy too. He made the nice little roll.
So it'll be a hit and stick for one.
Yeah, and he might have to roll a sliver to the inside. Like if he's right on the nose, it's hard to say who shot rock.
We'll take a quick look at the overhead.
Yeah, I'm still not sure. I think he's got to roll a bit to the center line.
Yeah, just a touch on the inside, yeah. So Bradley Moser facing 3, the final stone of end number 7 is on the way. Blum's got his broom down. That's good enough. Put that single point on the board for Moser. And that will be handshakes. So hang that final score as 7-4 in favor of Brad Gushue. And he continues with an undefeated record here in Martensville. And it's 0-3 now for Bradley Moser. He's going to have to win his final 2 games and get a lot of help, Sean.
Well, it's just his final one now. He's 0-3. He needs his final one and a lot of help. Brad Gushue is through to the playoffs. He'll play Kevin Tuma tonight. That'll determine who wins Pool B. And both of those teams will be through to the playoffs.
And that game against Kevin Tuma will be carrying here on Curling Stadium. Jason Chang and Jim Nix will have the call. Myself and Sean will have Mike McEwen versus Dylan Dirksen. Both those games come at you at 7 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock in the East. But right now from Martensville, for Sean Joyce, our producer Connor Sims, our executive producer Jerry Gertz, my name's Dave Schmel. Thank you for watching Curling Stadium. Good evening.
Hey, Mark, you ready for this game tonight?
Yeah, I'm excited, man. Cupsy, what are you doing over there?
Don't worry, boys. Was just on AztecSafety.com, took a fire extinguisher safety course. Paul, I'm putting out the fires from now on. Woo!